Hi, my name is Joshua Mann. This is my journal number 2 video. In today's video, I'll be discussing the social characters of ASD that I have observed thus far. The social characters of ASD that I have not observed through my observations, and the situations outside of my observations where I think that these social characters might have manifested with the individuals I've observed. So far, through my observations, some of the social characters I have noticed are very common, and a lot have been brought up in discussions that we've had in class. The first one would be in the area of social interaction. I've noticed it's very tough for the students I've worked with to initiate conversation, sometimes with a small group as well as one-to-one with their peers. I notice as well it's tough for them to initiate play out on the playground. Often, just like you see often in what we've talked about in our discussions, is students have routines, and sometimes students I've worked with, they have their routine at the playground where maybe they go for a walk around the playground and then they go talk to a yard duty that they feel comfortable with, and a lot of the time the RDs try to prompt the students to go play with their peers or friends, and just try to get them to interact with others. And that's one hard thing that I've noticed, and we've tried to work on with modeling, not just me or the general education teacher, but also the staff on the playground. On top of that, during our conversation, I noticed that students most of the time don't understand the conversation that's going on in front of them, whether it's talking about the story we read or talking about maybe something everyone did on the weekend. But often I find the students I observe that are on the spectrum, they tend to just bring up random conversation in the middle of conversation that's going on. So sometimes we'll be talking about reading comprehension, and we'll be talking about the story that we read, and all of a sudden my students brings up what they want to eat for lunch or what they're excited about, which has nothing to do with the story, but they just randomly blurt out things, which is a common social characteristic amongst students on the spectrum. Another one, social characters I've observed during my observations is students not understanding facial expressions, not understanding when others are mad, upset, or sad during conversation, or just through their facial expressions that they're showing with nonverbal communication. It's something that I try to work on. I'm still learning how to work on with those students, but it's definitely a characteristic I notice. Another social characteristic I notice is when teaching, students will often find random things they're interested in. Often it's words. They'll find words on a book, words on a wall, words on the whiteboard, like the month it is, and just repeat, and it's often just they find it interesting, and they wanna. It's a new word to them or a word they like, and they often repeat it. And you often have to prompt them to get back to work, but it's definitely something that happens quite often. Some social characters I haven't observed yet through the students I've observed are things like nonverbal communication. I haven't experienced ways students communicate nonverbally when with students on the spectrum. I would love to get to see students who use alternative communication, using pegboards. It's something that I did get to see when I was a paraeducator for an autism class, but I don't really get to see it on the day-to-day general education or learning center environment. But out of my observation, I feel outside of my observation, I feel these characters manifest just about anywhere. They're prevalent in any social situation, out in public, with their family, at the park. Maybe it could be at the grocery store. It's just any social situation that they have to interact with others. Maybe they have to express themselves, or they have to interpret people's feelings, understanding that they're happy, sad, mad, and be able to understand that. And with intervention, I'm sure these kids can, or my students can improve. But for now, these are the situations outside of school where it's probably most prevalent. I hope you enjoyed my video, and